Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Ryan and welcome back to my channel. So if you clicked on this video, most likely you're new to investing or you're looking to open a retirement account and you've been hearing all these crazy things like 401ks, IRAs, Roth, traditional, and you're probably just feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So in this video, I'm gonna try to break it down and make it as simple as possible for you guys to understand going forward with your retirement accounts. So in this video, we're gonna be taking a look at 3 different types of accounts or baskets as we're gonna call them in this video. So we're going to be taking a look at an IRA, a 401k, and a TSP account. So the name IRA literally just means individual retirement account. The name 401k is actually just the subsection, the code in the Internal Revenue Code. So that's why they call it 401k. And then TSP stands for Thrift Savings Plan. Now, all 3 of these are essentially, as I said, just baskets. They're not actual investments themselves. They're just baskets that you're going to put your money in, and then from there, you would choose a fund or a group of stocks to actually invest in. So now we know what these accounts mean, let's break them down just a little bit further. So an IRA, as it says, it's an individual retirement account, which means anybody can open one. Whether you have a job, you don't have a job, you're self-employed, you work for the federal government, doesn't matter. Anybody can open this type of account. And as of 2021, you can put up to $6,000 per year into this account. Now, a 401k is just a little bit of a step up from an IRA. Generally, you would have to be employed to have access to this. So your employer would offer this. It would be through your job or wherever you work. They would offer the 401k to kind of encourage you to invest in your retirement. Whereas an IRA, it's kind of something that you would do on your own, not through an employer. And then lastly, we have the TSP account or Thrift Savings Plan. So it's like the 401k. You can invest up to $19,500 per year as of 2021. But they have a little caveat, which is if you're over 50, you can actually, they call it a catch-up, you can invest another $6,500. So total, as long as you're over 50, you can invest $26,000 per year as of 2021. The only difference between the 401k and the TSP is the TSP is basically the government version of a 401k. It's only offered to active duty members and civilian federal employees. And they have government funds, which you wouldn't be able to access through a 401k, which we'll get into a little bit later. So as I said earlier in the video, IRA, 401k, TSP, they're all just baskets. They all do the exact same thing other than like the subtle differences between how much you can invest per year or the funds that are actually offered within these baskets. But essentially they all do the exact same thing. It just depends if you are employed or not, whether you work for the government, or if you're opening a retirement account on your own, which would be the IRA. Now, with all 3 of these accounts, you should be offered a contribution type. So this is going to determine how you're taxed, whether before or after. This is where it starts to get a little bit tricky as well and people start to get overwhelmed. So like I said, generally with all 3, you should be offered either Roth or traditional type contributions. I know for the IRA, you're guaranteed Roth or traditional. Same with TSP, you can choose between Roth and traditional. Depending on where you work though, most 401ks will give you the option to do Roth type contributions. However, some may not, so you would have to look into your current situation. So far, let's recap just a little bit. So we have 3 different types of accounts that we can choose from, or baskets. We have the IRA, the 401k, and the TSP, and then we have contribution types. So we have our 3 baskets, and we can choose 2 different options, either Roth or traditional, of how our money is going to go into these accounts. So starting off with Roth, your money is taxed as it goes into the account. So you get taxed once when your money goes in. Once it's in the account, it grows tax-free until you're ready to retire and start taking the money out. That's it. So you pay taxes now, and then you don't have to worry about it after that. When you go to retire, your money's tax-free. It's growing tax-free from then on out. Now, on the other hand, if you choose to do traditional style contributions, your money is tax exempt. So it is not going to be taxed when it goes into one of these 3 accounts, whatever you decide to choose. So no taxes when it goes in, tax-free. However, as it grows and it grows and it grows, when you go to retire at 60, 70, wherever you're retiring, you're going to have to pay taxes on this money because you chose not to in the beginning. So like I said, with Roth, taxes once when it goes into the account, tax-free when you retire. With traditional style contributions, you're tax-free when it goes into these accounts, but then you have to worry about taxes at the end when you go to retire. So some of you guys are probably thinking like, oh, traditional sounds awesome. I don't have to pay taxes now. I'll just worry about it like when I go to retire. Here's why this could be a problem. So over the course of your retirement account, you might be able to put 200, maybe 300,000 of your own money into the account without any gains. No gains on the money yet, just of your own money, maybe 200 to 300,000. Over the course of your retirement account, that money might grow to, let's say, $1 million. So with Roth, you're going to pay taxes on that, 200, 300,000. But in the end, when you have $1 million in the account, it's tax-free. It's all yours. The government doesn't touch any of it. With traditional, you're not paying taxes on that 200 to 300,000. So you might be able to get maybe 350,000 in there, just a little bit more because you're not paying taxes. However, when you go to retire and you have $1 million in the account, now you're paying taxes on that $1 million instead of that, 200 to 300,000. So long term, not financial advice, but Roth is a lot better because your money gets to grow tax-free, so you don't have to worry about taxes when you go to retire. I'd rather be taxed on 200 to 300,000 over the course of me putting money into the account and then have no tax at the end than fly by the taxes now, not pay them, and then have to be taxed on my $1 million when I go to retire. So here's something to think about as well. We have no idea what the government is going to do in the future when it comes to taxes. Personal taxes, capital gains taxes, long-term taxes, we have no idea. So personally, I'd rather get taxed on the $200 or $300,000 now, lose 30% of that in taxes, and then have my money grow tax-free, nice $1 million in the end, have no taxes to worry about, then skip over that 30% tax now and risk being taxed 50% in the future. And now my $1 million is only 500,000. So now just another quick recap for those of you who are still following along. So we have the 3 different types of basket. We have the IRA, 401k, TSP, just baskets just to put our money into, not actual investments. They're just the baskets. We have the 2 different ways that the money can go in, either tax now, tax-free later with the Roth, or no tax now, tax when we retire with the traditional. So now what do we do with these baskets? Well, we're gonna have to start picking index funds to fill up these baskets, and that's how your money's gonna start earning money. So let's go over that now. So depending on what type of account or basket you have is gonna mean that you're gonna have different options when it comes to index funds. It won't be straight across the board. So if you open your IRA with Vanguard and somebody else opens an IRA with M1 Finance, they're gonna have 2 different options to choose from to fill these baskets. Same with if I work for the government and I have a TSP account, my options are gonna be a little bit different than somebody who just has a regular 401k account. So not financial advice again, but you want to choose something safe and with a good track record. So when you're looking for a fund, what you're going to look for is something that mirrors the entire stock market, or something that mirrors the S&P 500 or the top 500 companies in the stock market. Generally, these are pretty safe bets over the long term. They have a good track record. You can go back and track them for the past 50 years, and they average between 8 to 12%, depending on what fund you're actually in. Like I said, they're going to differ a little bit, but this is your retirement account. This isn't, money that you're just kind of throwing into, random stocks and hoping for the best, because in 40 years, we have no idea what companies are going to be around. Apple could go out of business for all we know. So, you want to put your money in safe bets that are very diversified, very safe, good returns, good track records. So again, something that either mirrors the entire stock market or at least the top 500 companies in the stock market, just so that your retirement is safe when you go to retire. Leave a comment down below if I missed anything, or if you guys want me to make another video covering something just a little bit more in depth, or if you want me to, try to better explain something. I tried to explain it the best that I could and just make it as simple as possible. There's other little things regarding types of accounts, types of contributions, but again, I just tried to make it as simple as possible for those of you guys who are just opening a retirement account or kind of want to learn a little bit more about retirement account. But if you guys like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you guys can stay up to date on my other content. I post weekly fitness and finance videos, so make sure to check them out as well. But as always, guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace.